the evil community of LG alphabet people, if you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that. That's a
Yeah,
shorter. It's less
yeah,
syllables.
I'm not
Alphabet
naming all
Mafia.
Yeah, the Alphabet Mafia. Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
alphabet mafia. There you go.
The
And
word
so
scramblers.
they're the ones that are the least tolerant. If you look at people as a group, they're the least tolerant. And it's a almost an oxymoronic thing. I'm gonna give you an example of how crazy this is. Women have been fighting for women's rights all this time, right?
Right.
You got the feminist movement. So those same feminists are cheering on men becoming women and adding to their competition.
That's right.
Yeah,
It doesn't
just
make
like
any
how
sense at all.
just like
It
how
doesn't.
women. My bad. I keep interrupting. Geez.
Right.
No, Dre, go ahead. Go
No.
ahead.
So the woman of the year ends up being a man.
I was just about to bring that up.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I
Go
saw
ahead, expound on
that.
it.
I thought it was crazy. It's like they
Yeah.
want more rights. They want this. They want that. But then they allow a man to take over their own pageant.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's ridiculous.
And win, and they cheer it on, and they don't know. And this is what happens. You know, people may call me a chauvinist, but I'm not. Men are leaders by nature. They're leaders. They're protectors.
Yeah, it's in our drive.
Right. It's in our drive to be able to protect our pride, just like lions do. You protect the pride.
And, at all costs.
Right. And now they've taken the word pride and changed it to something else.
Right.
They've taken the rainbow that God gave us and changed it to
And
something
changed
else.
it to completely something else. That's
And
right.
strong men are what will resist what they're trying to do. And that's why they feminize men. They make you ashamed to be masculine. They call it toxic masculinity, when in reality, we're wired to protect and provide.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, there are men that are abusive and there's women that are abusive, but we don't talk about toxic femininity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The same reason why we don't address. It's like all these things. Words are always weaponized, and people don't realize the category that they fall into because they allow the weaponization of the word to distract them. So I'd give you another example. Okay, so you have toxic masculinity, right? But no toxic femininity. You have black on black crime, but no white on white crime. So the whole time Italians were killing each other in New York City, and with all this mob stuff, you never heard the term Italian on Italian crime because they were only shooting and killing each other for the most part. That's what they were doing, right? But you never heard that, right? So you weaponize words without getting to the bottom of it and getting the truth. So you get a lot of people that give you half truths on words, and you don't. But the masses, because it's like the elevator. If you walk onto an elevator and everybody's facing backwards away from the door, and you 9 times out of 10 face the door when you get into an elevator, you're deemed to be crazy because you didn't follow the crowd.
That's right.
Even though you know logically, you always face the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
I like to sing in elevators.
I weaponize a word. Now I weaponize a word. I call you homophobic. Well,
right.
What is a phobia?
It just means to be scared of gay people.
Right, but but that's not the truth. If you look at the definition of homophobia, the word fear isn't in there.
Oh, really?
No. Look up the word. So the root word of phobia. Look up the root word phobia. Fear is not in the definition.
I'm doing it right now.
It's a dislike. It is a great dislike of something.
Oh, so they changed the definition of the root words in homophobia.
Well, they don't use that. So they tell you it's a great dislike of something. That's not a phobia. That's not phobic. But you have to, like I said, when
some
they give
dictionaries
you something,
have it as a fear or dislike, but looking into the more medical definition, it's more of a dislike.
And a fear.
Well defined, associated with relatively simple, well defined. Okay, go ahead, continue. I'm gonna keep reading this.
It's just
Yeah.
a trigger word to make you afraid to criticize what's glaringly in front
Right.
of us.
Right. So let's go to another one. Critical race theory.
Critical race.
Why is it called critical race theory? It is to put fear into you by using the word critical, by using the word race, and then theory makes it that you don't have any facts to back it up. Only a theory is something that is only an idea and can't really be proven. But you can prove racism. You can prove these things that have happened to people of color. Why? But they add the word critical, and that throws you off.
That does, yeah.
How about critical facts?
Yeah.
I would never use the word critical race theory. Why? Because none of it is really and it's a trigger thing.
Yeah.
And these things come out left, right. You don't think about it because it's coming at you at light speed.
That's right.
And people are reactionary because people don't think.
Right.
They don't take the time to think and break it down.
And I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But I think that at this point, because of that, I do want to actually visit the idea, and I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna name it because you know, when I did that post on Facebook and I saw the amount of comments coming in, and I saw so many people saying that it didn't matter Jesus' skin color. Now that's, to me, and somebody from my race and somebody from your race, Barack, I'm not sure, you know, because we haven't really gone into that discussion, but how does it feel when you hear someone say that the Jesus skin color doesn't matter?
How does it make me feel?
Yeah.
It's dismissive. And the reason being is it's significant as to telling you who the people are, the lost house of Israel. So there's identifying marks in there. And so if you deny that Jesus is this, you also denying his people, and you're also denying the history of man as a whole. You're just denying it. To take something out of So the whole time, okay, here's what I find funny. The whole time that if I said Jesus was white, nobody would have ever
said batted an eye. Nobody
they never would have batted an eye, and they never would have said it doesn't matter.
That's right. Nobody ever does say it doesn't matter. But the minute that someone describes him as a black person, then it does matter at that point. And that's what I'm seeing. And through my life and my personal experience, I have seen the racism in people. And this is the stuff that's coming out. The racism in people, if Jesus was black, or if even the thought of him being black, you could see them just almost having an aneurysm on it, on the subject itself. So you know, it's almost like, where do we go from here? So there's these scriptures, and one of the scriptures that was brought out was about Jesus' feet were likened to fine brass that was burnt past tense in a furnace. Does anybody want to comment on that before I go into it? Anybody can go.
I would say if we're just starting with that one verse, that's not enough to conclude that he's black. I mean, burnt bronze.
We're gonna go into a lot more scriptures. So if you want to, how about this? We'll do this.
And what scripture are you using for?
All right, so this one is the Revelation chapter 1, verse 13 and 14, when John is in the vision seeing Jesus, and he's describing what he's seeing from head to toe. So he starts off with the woolly hair,
Or sorry,
which
where's that? Revelation 1?
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13 and 14.
And we do in King James, right?
KJV, yeah, I like to
Okay.
use the KJV.
That's the only one I use.
Right. And yeah, same here. So Revelation chapter 1, verse 13 and 14. I don't if anybody wants to read it, go for it.
I've got it if you guys are ready.
Yeah, go for it.
We're ready.
Hold on, let me grab that really quick. Hold
Okay.
on. Revelation
1, 13 and 14. Now, every now and then when someone's reading, sometimes I'll stop so that we can get a context of each word. Some but we're gonna read this Revelation 1, 13 and 14.
All right, you guys ready? It
Okay.
says,
Ready.
it reads, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Okay,
And
so real quick, I'm gonna let you keep on, but woolly hair, okay, it describes him with woolly hair, and there's only a few hands of nations on this earth that has woolly hair. But go ahead, continue.
So let me finish that verse. It says, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So if I may say one thing about this one, I'm not against Jesus being black, but I'm going to look at these verses as if I've never heard of this before. And I want to make sure we're not reading into things that aren't, we're reading into what it says, but we're also not believing things that it doesn't say. So when I'm looking at this verse, because I believe every word in this book is true, and it says his hairs were white like wool, it's not saying he had woolly hair.
Well, if you got to look into the Hebrew, which is what